Did you know that there is an ancient philosophy, tested by emperors, warriors, and sages, that can completely transform the way people see you? A philosophy that doesn't just improve your outward appearance, but radiates from the inside out, making you magnetically attractive. I'm talking about Stoicism, and today I'm going to reveal 7 Stoic habits that can make you 10 times more attractive. And fair warning, the last habit is the most powerful of all, the one that separates ordinary people from truly magnetic individuals. Before we begin this transformative journey, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any lesson that could change your life. Hit the like button if you're ready to discover the secret of true attraction. Now tell me, what really makes a person attractive? Physical beauty, money, social status? Think carefully before answering, because the truth might surprise you. Genuine attraction, the kind that wins hearts and minds, goes far beyond the superficial. It's rooted in something much deeper, something the ancient Stoic philosophers mastered to perfection. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor of Rome, was not known for extraordinary physical beauty. Epictetus began his life as a slave. Seneca faced exile and persecution, and yet all of them possessed something irresistible, a magnetic presence that drew people from all walks of life. How did they achieve this? Through the daily practice of Stoic principles. The first Stoic habit that makes you extremely attractive is emotional control. Imagine being in a high-pressure situation. Everyone around you is panicking, losing their composure, shouting, complaining. And then there's you, calm like the surface of a lake on a windless morning. That ability to remain serene when everything around you is chaotic is incredibly magnetic. The Stoics taught that we cannot control external events, but we have complete control over our reactions. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire constantly threatened by invasions, plagues, and betrayal, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That inner strength, that ability to stay centered, is like a lighthouse in a storm. People are naturally drawn to those who possess this kind of stability. Think about someone you deeply admire. Chances are, it's not someone who explodes in anger at every inconvenience or falls apart in the face of problems. It's someone who stays calm, thinks before acting, and responds instead of reacting. Emotional control doesn't mean suppressing feelings. It means processing them in a healthy, conscious way. When you develop this habit, something extraordinary happens. People begin to trust you more. They know they can rely on you in difficult moments. You become the solid rock in the middle of life's current, and that, my friend, is extremely attractive. The second Stoic habit is radical authenticity. We live in an age of social masks, where people hide their true selves behind characters designed to please others. How many people do you know who are genuinely authentic? Probably very few. And that's exactly why authenticity stands out so powerfully. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, warned about the dangers of living to please others. He said that those who try to be everything to everyone end up being nothing to anyone. Stoic authenticity isn't about being rude or insensitive. It's about living according to your values, even when it's difficult. When you're authentic, you don't waste energy maintaining a facade. You simply are. And that alignment between who you are on the inside and how you present yourself on the outside creates a powerful energy. People feel that truth, even if they can't quite explain why. Think about how many times you've pretended to like something just to fit in, or agreed with opinions that weren't yours to avoid conflict. That kind of behavior is exhausting, and worse, it makes you invisible. When you embrace Stoic authenticity, you become memorable. People remember those who have the courage to be real in a world full of imitations. Marcus Aurelius practiced this authenticity constantly. As emperor, he could have easily been corrupted by power, adopting the arrogance typical of rulers. Instead, he remained humble, constantly questioning his own motivations and decisions. That honesty with himself made him one of the most respected and admired leaders in Roman history. The third Stoic habit that multiplies your attractiveness is unshakable discipline. Don't confuse discipline with rigidity or a joyless life. Stoic discipline is about making conscious choices aligned with your long-term goals, even when the easy path looks more tempting. Epictetus, who rose from slavery to become one of the most influential philosophers of his time, taught that discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. He famously said, "No great thing is created suddenly." And he was absolutely right. Discipline shows up in everything you do, from how you take care of your body to how you manage your time and energy. When you develop Stoic discipline, people notice. They see someone who honors commitments, who does what they say they'll do, who doesn't quit when things get hard. That kind of reliability is magnetic because it's rare. We live in a society where many people start projects, but few finish them, where promises are easily broken and where instant gratification rules. A disciplined person stands out like a diamond among ordinary stones. They wake up early when others choose to sleep in. They train when others make excuses. They study and grow while others complain about their circumstances. And this consistent pattern of behavior produces extraordinary results that everyone can see. But here's the secret most people miss. Discipline isn't just about brute willpower. The Stoics understood that true discipline comes from clarity of purpose. When you know exactly why you're doing something, when you deeply understand your values, discipline flows naturally. You're not forcing yourself. You're simply aligning your actions with the person you truly want to become. The fourth Stoic habit is genuine presence. In a world where everyone is distracted by their phones, stuck in past regrets, or anxious about the future, being truly present is a superpower. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to focus on the present moment, writing, "Confine yourself to the present." This ability to be fully here and now transforms ordinary interactions into memorable connections. When you're in a conversation, how often is your mind actually there, truly listening? Or are you thinking about what you'll say next, mentally checking your to-do list, or worrying about something that happened yesterday? Most people are rarely fully present, which is exactly why, when someone truly is, it creates a deep impact. Stoic presence means giving people your full attention. It means making eye contact, listening not just to words, but to the emotions behind them, and being genuinely interested in the other person's experience. When you practice this, something powerful happens. People feel seen, heard, and valued, and they are naturally drawn to those who make them feel that way. Seneca wrote extensively about the value of time and attention. He argued that wasting the present moment is the same as wasting your life itself. Every moment is a one-time opportunity that will never return. When you truly embrace this and live accordingly, you begin to appreciate every interaction, every experience, every breath. That intensity of presence is incredibly attractive. The fifth Stoic habit that makes you irresistibly magnetic is transformative resilience. I'm not talking about simply enduring hardship, but about turning obstacles into opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly when he wrote, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." Think about how you react when something goes wrong. Do you complain, play the victim, look for someone to blame, or do you immediately ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger?" A stoically resilient person always chooses the second response. This ability to turn poison into medicine, to find growth within pain, and to extract wisdom from negative experiences reveals a level of maturity and inner strength that draws people in effortlessly. We all face challenges. The difference lies in how we respond to them. Epictetus, who knew suffering firsthand through slavery and abuse, developed one of the most powerful philosophies on resilience ever written. He taught that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. When you master the ability to reinterpret challenges as opportunities, you become nearly unbreakable, and that inner invincibility is deeply attractive. If you're enjoying this content so far, make sure to hit the like button. It really helps me continue bringing these transformative lessons to you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because what's coming next is even more powerful. The sixth Stoic habit is selfless generosity. The Stoics deeply believed in the idea of cosmopolitanism, the understanding that we are all part of a larger human community. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." This sense of interconnectedness naturally led the Stoics to practice genuine generosity, but pay close attention. I'm not talking about generosity to impress others or to get something in return. I'm talking about helping because it's the right thing to do, contributing without seeking recognition, lifting others up without calculating the payoff. This is authentic Stoic generosity. When you practice this higher form of generosity, something fascinating happens. You stop feeling scarce and begin to experience abundance. You realize you have so much to offer: your time, your attention, your knowledge, your compassion. And that sense of abundance is magnetically attractive. Think about the people who left the deepest impression on your life. They probably weren't the ones constantly calculating advantages or keeping a mental scoreboard of favors. They were the ones who gave freely, helped without expecting anything back, and genuinely celebrated your victories. Those are the people who leave an indelible mark on our hearts. Seneca, despite his immense wealth, was known for his generosity toward friends and even strangers. He didn't see his possessions as things to hoard, but as resources to do good. This perspective freed him from the prison of greed and made him beloved by many. He understood that true wealth is not measured by what you have, but by what you're able to give. Stoic generosity also includes forgiveness. The Stoics recognize that holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Marcus Aurelius consistently practiced forgiveness, even when betrayed or attacked. He understood that people act according to their limited understanding of reality, and that harshly judging others is a waste of precious energy. When you forgive easily, when you don't hold grudges, when you release others from your expectations, you also set yourself free. This lightness, the absence of bitterness, the ability to move forward without dragging the weight of the past, makes you incredibly attractive. People feel safe around you. They sense that you're not waiting to punish them for every mistake. Now we arrive at the seventh and most powerful Stoic habit, the one that truly separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. This is the habit that integrates all the others and elevates them to an entirely new level. I'm talking about conscious purpose and a life of meaning. The Stoics didn't live randomly, reacting to events without direction. They had absolute clarity about their core values and lived each day aligned with them. Marcus Aurelius began each day reflecting on his purpose: to serve the common good, to practice justice, to pursue wisdom. That clarity gave direction to every decision, every action, every word. When you live with conscious purpose, you stop being a boat drifting aimlessly at sea, tossed around by the waves of circumstance. You become a ship with a clear destination, navigating with intention even when the winds are against you. And that focused determination is powerfully attractive. Think about how you spend your days. Are you just getting by, checking boxes, killing time until the weekend? Or are you living intentionally, making conscious choices that move you closer to who you want to become? A person with a clear purpose carries a different kind of energy. They're not wasting their life on empty distractions. They're building something meaningful. Epictetus taught that we should constantly ask ourselves, is this under my control? If it is, we should act. If it isn't, we should accept it. But beyond that, he invited us to ask, does this bring me closer to my greater goals? Does this reflect my core values? These simple questions have the power to completely transform how we live. A person who lives with purpose doesn't get lost in unnecessary drama. They don't have time for gossip, mind games, or toxic relationships. They're focused on their mission, on contributing something valuable to the world, on becoming the best version of themselves. That level of focus and determination creates an irresistible magnetic field. Marcus Aurelius, even as the most powerful man in the known world, never lost sight of his higher purpose. He could have used his power for excessive luxury and selfish pleasures. Instead, he chose to serve, to lead with integrity, and to leave the empire better than he found it. That commitment to something greater than himself made him immortal, not only in history, but in the hearts of all who study his life. When you combine conscious purpose with the other 6 habits, something extraordinary happens. You become a force of nature. Your emotional control keeps you centered. Your authenticity makes you real. Your discipline makes you reliable. Your presence creates deep connections. Your resilience makes you unbreakable. Your generosity makes you loved. And your purpose gives meaning to all of it. This combination creates a presence so powerful that people naturally gravitate toward you. You don't have to try to be attractive. You simply are. Your magnetism comes from within, from a deep, authentic place that cannot be faked or bought. But here's the truth that needs to be said. These habits don't develop overnight. The Stoics understood that genuine transformation is a daily process, a constant choice to act in alignment with virtue, even when it's difficult. Marcus Aurelius didn't become the philosopher emperor in a single day. It was through years of daily practice, continuous reflection, and repeated choices that he became who he was. Seneca had a powerful habit that all of us can adopt. Every night before going to sleep, he reviewed his actions, asking himself, what bad habit did I correct today? What temptation did I resist? In what way am I better now? This practice of honest self-reflection is essential for growth. You can't improve what you don't examine. Imagine starting each day with clear intention and ending it with honest reflection. This simple practice, done consistently, has the power to completely transform your life. You begin to notice patterns in your behavior, identify areas that need attention, and recognize real progress. This commitment to continuous growth is, in itself, deeply attractive. People can sense when someone is genuinely committed to becoming better, not superficial self-improvement focused on appearances, but deep transformation of character. When you're on a path of steady growth, you naturally inspire others to do the same. You become living proof that real change is possible. Now let's talk about something the Stoics considered essential, the practice of memento mori, remembering your mortality. At first glance, it might seem morbid, but the Stoics saw it as profoundly liberating. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that his days were numbered, that every moment was precious and irreplaceable. When you live with an awareness of your mortality, something fundamental shifts in your priorities. You stop wasting time on trivial things. You stop postponing important conversations. You stop saving love and appreciation for someday. You live with urgency, but not haste. You live intensely, fully appreciating each experience as the rare gift it truly is. This awareness of impermanence makes you more present, more grateful, and more generous with your time and affection. People feel that intensity of presence. They notice that you're not just spending time with them, you're genuinely valuing every moment you share. That creates deep connections that superficiality can never achieve. Epictetus had students who came to him searching for magic formulas for success and happiness. He confronted them with hard truths. Life is short, time is limited, and death can arrive at any moment. Far from being depressing, this recognition was freeing. It released people from procrastination, paralyzing fear, and trivial worries. When you truly embrace impermanence, you also develop an extraordinary ability to let go. You don't cling desperately to things, people, or situations. You appreciate everything deeply while it's present, but you don't suffer when things change, because you understand that change is the only constant. This ability to move with life instead of resisting it is incredibly attractive. The Stoics also practiced something called premeditatio malorum, the anticipation of difficulties. Before important situations, they imagined what could go wrong and mentally prepared for those possibilities. This wasn't pessimism, it was intelligent preparation. When you practice this technique, you become far less reactive to adversity. Nothing completely blindsides you because you've already considered the possibilities and prepared your responses. That calm in the face of the unexpected, the ability to stay composed while others panic, is a sign of inner strength that naturally earns respect and admiration. Marcus Aurelius began his days by imagining the difficult people he might encounter, the challenges he might face, and the obstacles that could arise. He mentally prepared himself to respond with virtue in each scenario. When those challenges actually appeared, he was ready. He didn't react impulsively, he responded wisely. This kind of mental preparation doesn't mean living in constant anxiety about the future. Quite the opposite. It frees you from anxiety through conscious readiness. When you've already faced the worst-case scenarios in your mind and know how you'll handle them, you can live the present moment with far more ease and peace. Another crucial aspect of Stoic attractiveness is genuine humility. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, constantly reminded themselves of our shared humanity. No matter one's status, wealth, or power, everyone faces the same fundamental struggles: fear, desire, suffering, and the search for meaning. This deep humility prevents arrogance and keeps you grounded in reality. When you don't see yourself as superior to others, when you acknowledge your own flaws and limitations, and when you treat everyone with respect regardless of social status, you create space for authentic connection to flourish. Seneca, despite his education and immense wealth, never looked down on others. He understood that luck and circumstance play enormous roles in people's lives, and that judging others is both arrogant and ignorant. This humility made him approachable and respected, even as one of the most influential figures of his time. Stoic humility also shows itself in the ability to admit when you're wrong. How many people do you know who defend their positions to the bitter end, even when the evidence clearly contradicts them? How many relationships are destroyed because no one is willing to back down? A truly strong person isn't afraid to say, "I was wrong. Thank you for correcting me." That kind of strength of character is magnetic. Marcus Aurelius constantly wrote reminders to himself about staying humble. He reminded himself that he was just a man, subject to the same weaknesses as everyone else. This practice of intentional self-humbling kept him grounded in the midst of absolute power. He knew arrogance was a poison, one that corrupts leaders and destroys empires. When you cultivate this kind of authentic humility, you become someone people genuinely want to be around. There's no pretense, no ego games, no need to prove anything. You simply are, comfortable in your own skin, aware of both your strengths and your flaws. That disarming authenticity breaks down walls and creates instant connections. Another essential element of Stoic philosophy that dramatically increases your personal magnetism is the practice of active gratitude. The Stoics didn't just feel grateful passively, they practiced gratitude deliberately, constantly acknowledging the blessings in their lives, even in the middle of hardship. Epictetus, who had every reason to become bitter because of his life as a slave and the abuse he endured, chose gratitude instead. He was grateful for access to philosophical teachings, grateful for his mind, grateful for the opportunity to grow through adversity. This conscious decision to focus on what he had, rather than what he lacked, completely transformed his experience of life. When you practice active gratitude, your energy shifts entirely. You stop being the person who constantly complains, who always finds problems, who lives in a state of chronic dissatisfaction. You become someone who appreciates, who values, who finds beauty even in imperfect circumstances. And that positive energy is contagious and deeply attractive. Think about how you feel around someone who's always complaining versus someone who regularly expresses gratitude. The first person drains your energy, the second energizes you. We naturally gravitate toward people who carry light, not darkness. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to generate that inner light. Marcus Aurelius had a daily exercise where he listed things he was grateful for. He gave thanks for his teachers, his family, his health, even for the challenges that strengthened him. This simple habit kept his heart open and his perspective balanced, even while ruling an empire in constant crisis. Stoic gratitude also includes appreciating people while they're still here. The Stoics practiced viewing each encounter as if it might be the last, not in a morbid way, but in a way that motivated them to express appreciation, resolve conflicts, and leave nothing important unsaid. This loving sense of urgency creates deep and meaningful relationships. When you truly see the important people in your life, when you express your appreciation, not just in thought, but through words and actions, you strengthen those bonds in powerful ways. People flourish when they feel genuinely valued, and they are naturally drawn to those who make them feel that way. Now let's talk about something that may sound counterintuitive, but is essential: Stoic detachment. This doesn't mean not caring or living like a disconnected hermit. It means loving deeply while understanding that everything is temporary. It means valuing without clinging desperately, appreciating without depending. Seneca had an interesting practice. Periodically, he would voluntarily live with very little, eating simple food, sleeping on hard beds, wearing basic clothes. He did this to remind himself that he could be happy even without his possessions and comforts. This practice freed him from the fear of loss and anxiety about the future. When you develop this healthy detachment, you stop being controlled by fear. You're no longer paralyzed by the fear of losing your job, your relationship, your reputation, or your possessions. You understand that these things are external, that your inner peace and self-worth don't depend on them, that inner freedom is incredibly attractive. Stoic detachment also means refusing to let other people's opinions control you. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that public opinion should not dictate his decisions. He would ask himself, do the people whose opinions concern me even know what they're doing? Do they themselves understand right from wrong? This perspective freed him from the prison of external approval. When you're not constantly seeking validation, when you don't change who you are based on who's in the room, when you remain true to your values, regardless of social pressure, you carry a stability that is magnetically attractive. People trust those who are consistent, those who aren't social chameleons, constantly changing colors. Epictetus taught his students to distinguish between what is within their control and what is not. Your actions are within your control. Other people's reactions are not. Your effort is within your control. Outcomes are not always. When you focus fully on what you can control and let go of the rest, you develop a deep peace that nothing can shake. That inner peace, the ability to remain centered regardless of external circumstances, may be the most attractive quality of all. We live in a world of constant chaos, anxiety and uncertainty. Someone who carries inner peace is like an oasis in the desert. People naturally draw closer, seeking a bit of that calm for themselves. We've now reached the final moment of this transformative journey, and I want you to understand something essential. These 7 Stoic habits are not just techniques for becoming more attractive. They are a complete path to a life of meaning, purpose, and deep fulfillment. The attraction they generate is simply a natural byproduct of living with excellence. Marcus Aurelius captured this truth perfectly when he said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Each of these habits shapes how you think, and therefore how you live. When you master your emotions, live authentically, practice discipline, stay present, turn obstacles into growth, act with generosity, and live with purpose, you are literally rebuilding your mind and your character. This transformation doesn't happen through one grand gesture, but through 1,000 small daily choices, choosing calm over anger, truth over convenience, action over procrastination, presence over distraction, growth through pain instead of playing the victim, giving instead of hoarding, meaning instead of empty entertainment. Each of these choices may feel small in the moment, but together they create an extraordinary life. Seneca once said that it's not that we have too little time, we simply don't use the time we have well. Every moment is an opportunity to practice these Stoic habits, to become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little closer to the person you aspire to be. And here's the liberating truth. You don't need to be perfect. The Stoics themselves weren't perfect. Marcus Aurelius struggled with anger. Seneca was sometimes inconsistent. Epictetus had moments of frustration. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. The goal is the daily commitment to try again, to stand back up every time you fall, and keep moving toward virtue. This journey of self-transformation rooted in Stoic principles has the power to change not just how others see you, but who you fundamentally are. And when you change who you are, everything in your life changes. Your relationships grow deeper. Your work becomes more meaningful. Your challenges turn into opportunities. Your life takes on an entirely different quality. Now, if you've stayed with me this far, I want you to do something for me. Tell me in the comments which of these 7 habits resonated most deeply with you. Was it emotional control, authenticity, discipline, presence, resilience, generosity, or conscious purpose? Share your reflection below. It helps me understand what impacts you most and create even more valuable content. And here's my challenge to you. Choose one of these 7 habits and commit to practicing it intensely for the next 30 days. Just one. Don't try to master them all at once. The Stoics were masters of focus. They understood that depth beats breadth. It's better to practice one habit deeply than to dabble superficially in many. If you choose emotional control, practice pausing before reacting. Count to 10. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, how would my best self respond to this? If you choose authenticity, commit to expressing your true opinions, even when it's uncomfortable. If you choose discipline, define one non-negotiable commitment and honor it every single day. No exceptions. If you choose presence, turn off notifications during important conversations. Practice meditation. Bring your attention back to the present moment whenever you notice your mind drifting. If you choose resilience, consciously reframe every obstacle as an opportunity. Ask yourself, how can this make me stronger? If you choose generosity, do something kind for someone every day, without expecting recognition. And if you choose conscious purpose, set aside time to clearly define your core values. Write them down. Review them daily. Before every major decision, ask yourself, is this aligned with my values? Does this move me closer to who I want to become? That clarity will change everything. Marcus Aurelius lived nearly 2,000 years ago, yet his words remain deeply relevant today. Epictetus taught in a completely different world, yet his principles are timeless. Seneca faced challenges we'll never experience, yet his lessons on life, meaning and excellence still resonate across centuries. Why? Because they touched fundamental truths about the human condition, truths that don't change, the desire for control in a chaotic world, the need to live authentically in a society of masks, the discipline required to achieve meaningful goals, the importance of being present instead of lost in worry, the ability to grow through adversity, the power of generosity and human connection, and above all, the deep need to live with purpose and meaning. These are universal human needs. When you embrace Stoic principles, you're joining a lineage of wisdom seekers that stretches back thousands of years. You're choosing to live intentionally instead of accidentally. You're choosing to build strong character instead of chasing fleeting pleasures. You're choosing substance in a world obsessed with surface-level appeal. And yes, it will make you extraordinarily attractive. but more importantly, it will make you someone you respect when you look in the mirror. Someone capable of weathering any storm, someone who leaves the world better because they existed. And in the end, isn't that what we all truly want? If this video impacted you, if these Stoic lessons touch something deep within you, I need you to do 3 things right now. First, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next transformative lessons. Second, hit the like button so more people can discover this ancient wisdom that remains profoundly relevant. And third, share this video with someone you believe would benefit from these ideas. Look at the screen now. I've left 2 recommended videos to take your Stoic journey even deeper. In the first, we explore how the Stoics dealt with rejection and transformed pain into power. In the second, we reveal Stoic secrets for developing unshakable confidence. These videos are natural continuations of the journey you began today. Remember, the person you'll be 1 year from now is determined by the choices you make today. The Stoics understood this deeply. Every moment is an opportunity to practice virtue, to grow stronger, to move closer to your ideal self. Don't waste that opportunity. Start now. Choose one habit. Practice it. Transform yourself. The world needs more people living by Stoic principles, people who remain calm in chaos, people who live authentically, people who are disciplined and reliable, people who are truly present, people who turn obstacles into growth, people who are generous, people who live with clear purpose. The world needs you operating at your highest level, and these 7 Stoic habits are the path to get there. Thank you for watching until the end. Your commitment to growth and wisdom already sets you apart. Now go and practice. Become the magnetic, strong, and virtuous person you were meant to be. See you in the next video.